Hi, my name is FRED OLEN RAY. I'm an independent filmmaker, and I was born in 1954 in a little town in Ohio, somewhere near the West Virginia border, up in hillbilly territory, as we like to call it. And I've been in California since about 1981, but basically I'm still just a hillbilly or mountain person at heart. When I was growing up as a child, I used to get my hands on these model kits of Frankenstein and Wolfman, and inside there would be a coupon for a magazine called Famous Monsters of Filmland. And I finally found a copy of this around 1964, and I was hooked. And I read Famous Monsters through the 60s, and I learned to love monster movies and sci-fi films, and pictures made by Roger Corman and Lon Chaney Jr. And it made me want to become a filmmaker. And in my life, I've been fortunate that that's actually happened for me. Early in my career, I wanted to make films and get people to put money into films, and I wanted to associate myself with people who had already made films that other people might know. And someone introduced me to Ed Wood Jr., who had made some films with Bela Lugosi in the 1950s. And I hired Ed Wood to write a script for a movie called Beach Blanket Bloodbath. And I sent him some money, and he got started on the script. And I sent him a Christmas card in 1978. And the card came back, moved, no longer at this address. And I later found out that Ed had died. And where my script is, no one knows. But he was a very friendly guy, a very outgoing guy. He laughed a lot. And little did we know that years later Ed Wood would become so famous. I understand that this is called the Turin Trash Film Festival. And I don't exactly know what, by definition, people in Turin think is trash in films. We've always just tried to make the best picture that we could for the money that we had available, and tried to give it a sense of humor, or to be something scary, or we don't know what. But I don't think we ever actually set out to make a film that was trash. I mean, perhaps trash and cult are the same things. I'm not really sure. As far as trauma goes, trauma films, I've never been a big fan of trauma films. I just haven't, I just don't like them. I mean, the people who run the company are nice guys, but the Toxic Avenger movies and stuff like that have never had any feeling with me at all. Over the course of my career, I probably have directed over 70 motion pictures and produced another 20 or 30. So I'm probably around 90 films. I can't even begin to imagine how many times I might have called action in my life, or how many feet of film I've shot in my life. But I've always just enjoyed working. I mean, you're a filmmaker, you make films. You don't sit all year long, you make no films, or maybe one film. Or to me, filmmaking is my life, and this is my house and children and wife. All their money comes from making films. So for me, to make films is like for another person who is an architect to build a house, or a guy who sells a car to sell a car. If film is a creative art, and you have to definitely have artistic sense. It's not the same as selling a car, of course. All I am saying, though, is that I would make as many films as people want me to make. And I enjoy it, and I have a great time doing it, and I hope people have fun watching them. But after 70-some films, I'm assuming somebody is enjoying these pictures, because we keep getting asked to come back. When you make as many films as I have made, there are films that stand out to be better than others. Some have more money, or bigger stars, or more shooting days, and it's so you do get favorites. And I've always enjoyed Armed Response. It's always been one of my favorite films, and more recently, Venomous, the Treat Williams movie, the Rattlesnakes, and Critical Mass with Udo Kier, which I enjoyed quite a bit. I love Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers just because it's so crazy a movie, and I like The Shooter, my Western that I did with Michael Dudikoff, and you know, there's a lot of them that stick out. But you know, some of the low-budget films I remember very fondly, like Bad Girls from Mars. I had a great time making Bad Girls from Mars, and you know, movies like that, like Haunting Fear and Spirits, you know, and movies like that. I have had a great time and enjoyed myself making those films. I saw the poster for the Turin Trash Film Festival, and it had Mark Singer from Cyberzone with his gun as a poster for the festival. And a Cyberzone was originally called Droid Gunner, and it was a strange film. It was meant to be played serious, of robot hookers, android prostitutes, pleasure droids. And I thought it was a pretty good idea. It had very low budget and a very short shooting schedule, 10 days. And we were work with Roger Corman on this, and so we're able to use some of Roger Corman's stock footage from his other space movies and things, you know, which helped quite a bit. It had a very good cast. The Mark Singer, Matthias Hughes, Brink Stevens, Ross Hagen, Robert Quarry, Ken Schreiner. It had a very, very good cast. Even I am in the film. I get killed as a space pilot, and I go, ah, right before I blow up. I don't know that I would compare it to Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a classic motion picture. Cyberzone is a little picture, but I do definitely feel that there's a little spaghetti western in there, a little Sergio Leone for a few dollars more. It's very evident in there, and you know, there definitely are some visual and stylistic nods to other movies that you can pick up watching the film. As always, we're busy making films here all the time. Recently, we made a film called The Unliving with Paul Naschy, the great horror star from Spain. And he plays Waldemar Daninsky in a werewolf movie. And we're very excited about this film. We also have one out called Stranded right now, space shuttle NASA disaster film, and we have Bikini Car Wash 3D. So always just kind of, you know, staying on this, not too far from what we really enjoy doing. You know, I once said that nudity was the cheapest special effect, and I meant that, because you don't have to wait for it. Though the wires never show, it's cheap, and it never goes wrong. It always works. And so I've always thought that if you don't have any money, put a naked girl out in front of the camera, and no one will ever complain. And with that, I would like to thank everyone at the Turin Trash Film Festival for including me in your program, and I hope that everyone has enjoyed our time together. Thank you.